Can you please introduce yourselves by name and then let me know how long you've been coming to Heritage Christian Centre?
My name is Kobe and I've been coming for 10 months now.
My name is Tahnika and I've been coming for 10 months as well. Technically it was one day between because I went to the service here from Shane Willard and incredible. And then I was like, honey, come with me. He was amazing. So yeah, same time pretty much.
That's so good. And why did you first come?
A really close friend of mine invited me. She said that the pastor was really cool and a bit edgy, and what got me was that he was a trained psychologist. So I was like, oh, let me have a squiz, and I went for the first night. I think he was coming for 3 nights in a row. So we went to the first one together and it was really good.
She gave a raving review of how good it was, came to the next one.
Would you be interested in this? And I was like, yeah. And then I've not regretted coming back since.
What's kept you coming back?
Probably like the feeling of belonging, I guess. Like it feels nice to finally be somewhere that answers a lot of questions that we had before founding the church. It was like missing link, I feel.
What's always brought me to church is that community and that sense of, even though you're meeting new people that obviously never met before ever, it brings you back to the feeling of, oh, this is just another human being. And that, like what Kobe said, that acceptance and the feeling of belonging. So that's sort of what drew me as well, and yeah, it's been incredible ever since.
What would you say community means to both of you?
I guess it means just like a space where you can just come and like unapologetically just be yourself and be with people who are also being themselves, and it's just like a unified kind of experience.
Yeah, I think that it's, again, building back on that social aspect of like meeting and leaning on each other and meeting so many different people that has been a really big eye-opener for me as well, of seeing how accepted everyone is, different cultures and different experiences as well, has been really important to me personally as well, of just meeting different people and also finding a space where we can all coexist in our individuality and come together because we all have that same purpose of really belonging as well.
How have both of you formed relationships or connections within this space?
I think the first real like big step I had into like actually like making connections with people was when I went to the men's conference last year, and then I met just so many people I'd seen around and never really stuck around after church to say hello to them, but just having that like different space, and it was like breakfast, just sit around over a meal and have a chat with so many different people.
Before you joined the church and started coming, did you have much social interaction? Were you looking for more connection?
I think I can answer for both of us. No, not really. We're a little bit introverted, so we're happy just to be at home. But that's one thing that I've found churches have, especially this kind of church, is even if you haven't been there before, you're gonna feel like that wall of anxiety is gonna come down. And I feel like people actually care about you, and it's not just asking that, hey, how you going? It's actually like people care about talking, and that sort of builds on the courage to keep coming.
I think I guess what it was for me was I've always been a very like family-centered person, and then since coming to church, it's really redefined my definition of family, which has gotten us out of that, like into groups so much more, because I'm like, oh, this is my family.
I love how you put that. How do you guys feel being involved in like church or having this space affects your well-being?
I could go on forever about that. It's just so like reassuring to know that even if you only come on the Sunday, if you're not involved in any other way or anything like that, you can just come here and everything else just like fades away kind of thing. Like you just come here and it's such an overwhelming feeling of acceptance, and just having that, it's like you can have the worst week ever and then you come here and it's so uplifting, and it just resets you for the weeks to come kind of thing.
I think this every Sunday actually. Every time we're finished and we go home, I walk out the gates and I feel like my spiritual cup has been filled, even if it's by little things all added together, but music, what it is being spoken about, how it's being spoken about. I think personally, I really do think that Pastor Errol is really funny, and I think it's just such a spiritual, uplifting feeling when you leave church, and even just seeing someone that you haven't seen for a while, just getting a hug and saying hello. I think naturally that does help your mental health anyway.
Do you feel like that affects your day-to-day life or work or other areas as well?
Yeah, it makes me a lot more patient with people.
Yeah.
And I feel like I sort of fill up my spiritual cup so that I am able to be reminded of what Jesus did for us and
Yeah.
how I can regulate myself to be more like him, even though it's so difficult. But it just sort of resets me of going and how to interact with people that aligns with my faith as well. So that's a big thing for me as well. Yeah.
How important do you think spaces like this and this community is for young adults?
I think they're invaluable, honestly, just to have a place that's so steadfast in its morals in a positive way. It's not rigid and unchanging, but it's confident in what it's promoting. I think that's so important for when I came to church, I was lost as an adult, and I know how lost I was as a teenager. And if I had a space like this, I think about it all the time, how helpful it could have been.
I think it's something that needs to be advertised a little bit more of how we can connect, especially younger people, because there is that proclivity to isolate naturally with our evolving technological world. And then once you reinforcement of that social interaction, that sort of bridging off into creating more of a ripple effect of actually getting together more as opposed to just being online nowadays as well.
Yeah, we're like more connected than ever before, but actually less connected.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If you could describe this community, this church, in one word, what word would you both use?
I'd probably use family,
Yeah. Yeah,
That's great.
just family. And people from, like I said, different cultures. There's so many people that I'm sort of thinking of in my head that I see them as my family, and they're from all different cultures as well. But yeah, I think just family, you just feel nice and comfy and cozy. We have our seats that we sit in every Sunday, and it's just like even when you walk in, it's like it's meant to be. Yeah.
Well, thank you both for sharing a bit of your experience and taking some time today.
Yeah. No worries, thanks for having us.